My brothers and I used to dare each other to climb higher and higher into the tops of trees when we were too little to fear falling. Nowadays, when I escape to the woods, I think about hiking with my kids. My son would fly fish nearby while my daughter and I pretended magical worlds existed beneath moss-covered roots. She once made a snail an entire castle out of leaves. Watching her create a sanctuary for a snail's happiness still makes me smile. I was married under a hawthorn tree. The light beams dancing through the forest canopy still remind me of the magic in a moment. Those are my memories, but I'm using them to remind you of something. Picture with me autumn leaves twirling in the wind. Close your eyes and let the world fall away around you. Imagine you're waiting beside a waterfall for an evening walk with the Creator, God Himself. You brought a flower with you. It smells like laughter, and you're super excited to show God a clover patch. There's a fern golly you can't wait to share with Him, but also something with scales that you need Him to know about. Yet, there's nothing you're afraid of, nothing holding you back. Can you imagine it? That person waiting by a waterfall, full of wonder, for their God still exists within you? Come back with me to an ancient story. The telling of this story began before there was any thought of a fallen world in Genesis 2. And I quote, "God took the man and placed him in the garden, which He had created to cultivate and care for it." That one sentence tells us that before the idea of sin ever existed, man's purpose was rooted in the cultivation and care of a living, growing, flourishing world. A world that needed to be cared for and cultivated by a gardener, by man. To remain a garden, to remain beautiful, it needed someone to care, someone to be paying attention. What I want us to see is that at the core of our beings, we are gardeners with the capacity to make the world a better place. The second thing we need to know about ourselves is that before the idea of a fallen world, God said it was not good for a man to be alone. We were made for relationships with the earth and with each other. C.S. Lewis is so clear on this when he says, "We are born helpless. As soon as we are fully conscious, we discover loneliness. We need others physically, emotionally, and intellectually. We need them if we are to know anything, even ourselves." I was from a big family growing up, and I had people around me all the time, but I remember feeling very much alone. I know now that was a lie, but what everyone in this room has in common is we were children first, someone's child. And whether we had siblings or not, we first learned about friendship because of kindness. And that at some point we made a few enemies and discovered there were things we didn't even like about ourselves. It is a fallen world, isn't it? And relationships are not easy. For as much as I love nature, the truth is there is nothing dependable about it. It can teach wonder and horror on the same day, as a tornado will shatter a blooming rose and 100-year-old tree in one breath of wind. So I'm not asking you to be naive about the world and pretend that troubles don't exist. But Sherlock Holmes said, the world is full of obvious things no one, by chance, ever notices. There is a longing, a deep hunger in all of us, and whether we try to push past it in our busy lives or hide from it in crowded spaces, on sleepless nights when we're paying attention, we long for connection, community, fellowship, true friendship. I shared with you my memories, hoping to awaken seeds planted within you, to get you to pay attention. Memories are like seeds. We store them away or plant them in the soil of our lives. They can wait dormant for years and at times be encouraged to begin to grow for unpredictable or intentional reasons. I'm reminding you of the child's heart that beat within you before you lost the excitement you once had about the world. Deep within us, we know there is something wrong with the world. Things shouldn't be this way. We long for a place that we've never been, a song that we've never heard, and we know something is missing. Because planted within us are the seeds of Eden, the place we were originally designed for. And the reason it's unforgettable, the reason the longing never fades is because the memory is a compass. God knew things would go the way they did. It wasn't a surprise. He knew we would wander, and He let us go when we chose to part ways. Any relationship with us, His creation, couldn't be forced, or it wouldn't be worth having. Even today, He lets us make our own choices about which path to follow, or about the soil of our hearts. Yet, in the very purpose for which He created us, He planted a compass. He made us gardeners. The same flowers that dropped seeds in the Garden of Eden will grow in the soil of your life. He still waits each evening for you in hopes of your return. In our time together, I'd like to help you find your compass.